You know, so it's amazing.
So before we move on to the next comment, I have a specific question just for Mary. Now, is it true that you began your ADR directing career because you fell off a horse?
I was doing a Xena Warrior Princess over in New Zealand, and the horse that was being hanged on reared up, fell on top of me, dislocated my kneecap, and I came back to LA, and I couldn't do my job, which was actually up at Universal Studios Hollywood. I was in one of the shows up there. So a friend recommended me to Animes and Zero Limit Productions, and so I started doing voiceover, and because of that, a couple of years later, they had too many shows, not enough directors, and they were silly enough. And I'm grateful that they were silly enough to say, do you want to do this? So.
That's amazing. Serendipity is incredible.
I know, and it changed everything. I called my agent and said, I'm retiring from on camera, this is what I want to do, and thanks for the fish.
We'll be reenacting the horse accident at the next one.
I didn't realize that story actually. Sorry about the traumatic roleplay at the beginning. The horse.
Yeah, it was a horse named Cher. So I know that there's a song in there somewhere, but thank you to the horse named Cher who started my career.
No. Alright, next YouTube comment. Okay, real talk though. Spice English voice actor is actually the greatest thing that has ever blessed my delicate ears.
Person needs to shoot higher.
I think Mary would disagree, but...
I completely 100% agree, 100% completely agree. They were like, Wendy and I were talking about this. We just all used to sit around and listen to Steve's voice and go, talk again. All of us were just...
And I didn't notice until last night. I've worked with these two for 20 years and I did not notice until
But it's
last
not
night.
just us. It's Cindy Robinson, Karen Strassman, Bridget, Leah, everybody. Steve's voice. The placement, with the way it's sat and Spike, we would just swoon. And you know, we relate. We hear you, ladies. We heard it first. Also, your sense of goofy, the sense of timing, that, you know, the sound that you make when you do that. There's so much, you brought such dynamic range to Spike. Not just the cool jerk from, you know, how you doing, you know, smarmy, cocky. You brought him to life, and it's fully, all of you guys did, these fully dimensional characters, which was so amazing, because normally what you see from character development is you just get the surface, and you get the frosting, you don't get to see the making of the cake and everything else. And you guys did such a brilliant job, and we had time to really craft out these characters so they were fully realized, fully dimensional characters.
But don't get us wrong, both Mary and I were crushing on Steve hard.
Some hard.
Very, and I thought it was all sort of play. But some people were serious.
I was totally
and ended up together.
Now Spike and Julia are engaged.
Right?
Yes.
That's one of the greatest things that's ever happened in my life. But after they told me this, I'm thinking, wow, I could have gotten a lot more action while I was single.
You know, there's always the sequel. No. Maybe? Anyway, next comment. I told you, I'm sorry, there's spoilers, but this one, I refuse to believe Spike is dead. You cannot change my mind.
Sitting right here.
So this goes into the segue. We touched on it a bit about feelings of the story continuing, the live action, and I think we kind of already talked about this. So my thunder's gone, but I think when we're talking about that ending, and I think for me, inspiring me for many, many rewatches, because I'm like, wait, no, what? No. I just watch it over and over and over again. Particularly, for me, my favorite is Faye. Yeah, my personal favorite. And so, I find that Bebop, unlike many anime that we see, doesn't use tragedies as a cheap shot. I feel like the tragic nature of many of the storylines here, like I think about Jet's last scene and stuff, it's like, it's not just an easy sob for the audience. They're not using it as a quick, dramatic element. I always found that those are real stories of deep, painful experiences. And I think a lot of anime nowadays, it's, we get these huge A&B compilations of saddest moment in anime. And then it gets cheapened, I think. But I didn't feel that way about Bebop, and I think it's pretty heavy, and as actors. Steve touched on this a bit at your panel yesterday about having to go inside yourself for these deep experiences that your characters are going through. And maybe you want to hear from Wendy and Miriam as well, that are dealing with that pain as an actor on screen. How do you muster that? How do you rationalize that in your work?
You dig deep. You dig deep and you really do the work of acting. Truly. I mean, it's one thing to want to emulate a voice, but the process of surrendering self and getting into the shoes of another character and being willing to go to the depths and limits of its existence, of its soul, is a kind of a series of surrender, of just shedding yourself and becoming that character. And it's a high usage of very overdeveloped imagination and having a place for the childlike ability that we retain as actors to really experience many lives in one lifetime. So that's sort of the thing that always keeps me hungry for trying out new characters and developing new voices and wanting to, play especially characters that I could never be cast for physically on camera or...
Like TK.
Very much like TK. Because he's the cutest of all the Digimons. You know that.
But Faye especially, that multiple lives thing, right? Like Faye has literally lived multiple lives, and it's that sense of loss, like that her final scene crushed me when I first saw it.
I don't think I've certainly never played a character so well into a series to suddenly pull back the curtain and find out what she was made of and why. It was so intense. The way that was explored to me came out of nowhere. It just blindsided me. And it's like a treasure trove of picking up a chest of family heirlooms and finding what your roots were when you've lived your whole life thinking you knew your identity. So that was profound for me, and once again, when I was a viewer, it felt even more profound. So yeah, that was very, very brave and rich, and then the advent of technology over the time, and yeah, there's a lot I could say about that, but...
We took our time with that episode. We took a lot of time as the series wound down, and you really start to peel back the layers and the onions of what all this facade of attitude from all of them were, to really get into who they were, and to know that we were going to work on this today in the studio, and just be like, okay, mind-blowing time, but then to really take our time with each one of these reveals for each character, and to make sure, I wanted to make sure that you guys were happy with your performance. I mean, and we had the luxury of time and money, which is a very rare thing in the industry, so we took the time to really go through, and I was like, do you guys want to tweak anything? Is there anything I'd like to go back in and tweak this? Are you okay with that? Let's go in. So it became this really collaborative process to pay the respect that these characters deserved.
It was so cool watching this for the first time through. I only saw it for the first time through 3 months ago, all the way.
Wow.
I know I'll never be the same. Shook my world so hard again. Wish I washed away my sins.